All right, so today in class we are going to start off by reviewing some of the most missed questions from our activity that we did yesterday. So this first question asks for the acceleration of the box, but it gives us two forces. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to find net force. Because those forces are opposing, they're working against each other, we are going to subtract, so we get a net force of 70 newtons. And we know with our FMA triangle that we are going to need to divide. So we would do 70 divided by 5, and that is going to give us 14 meters per second squared. On this next question, it says we are carrying a lunch tray and we bump into the edge of a table. The tray does not tip, but the milk does. So the reason the milk tips over is because it is in motion with the tray. When the tray bumps the edge of the table, it stops because there's an unbalanced force there. But there is not an unbalanced force working on the milk, so the milk does fall off. Objects in motion stay in motion unless acted on by an unbalanced force is going to be Newton's first law. Okay. This next question says an archer shot a 15-kilogram arrow at a target. The arrow accelerated at 300 meters per second squared, and it reached a speed of 75 meters per second. When we look at our FMA triangle, we do not need to know the speed of the object, and we know it's a speed because it does not have the squared attached to it. So this information right here is not needed information. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out. It asks me to find net force. So when I look at my FMA triangle, I have mass right next to acceleration, so I'm going to multiply. So I get 15 kilograms times 300 meters per second squared, and that is going to equal, when I use my calculator, 4,500. Okay, on this next question it says a student uses a magnet to move a 0.5 kilogram metal ball . The magnet exerts a force of 3 newtons, and it wants to know what the acceleration of the ball is. So again, we have our FMA triangle. We are given a mass, we are given a force, so we are going to divide 3 divided by 0.5 kilograms. Guys, when we do this, we need to make sure that we are using our calculator, because sometimes when we're working with decimals, they do not do what we think they're going to do. So the most missed answer choice here that was chosen was A, because we think that that's going to cut it in half. But it does not. A is not our answer. When we type in 3 divided by 0.5, it gives us 6 meters per second squared. Okay. This next question says a baseball player hits a 0.05 kilogram ball with an acceleration of 2,000 meters per second. Again, it is looking for the net force. So we have force, mass, and then acceleration. So if we're looking for force, we're going to multiply mass times acceleration. So 0.05 times 2,000. And we want to make sure again that we enter that into the calculator, because it does not do sometimes what we think it is going to do. So when I type those numbers into the calculator, I do get 100 newtons. Okay, our last question here is very similar to the very first question that we looked at, where we had the box and we had some forces that were working against each other. I know that the mass of the box is 100 kilograms, and it says I have one force of 50 newtons, and this force right here, opposing, means that it's going to work against the other force. So I need to solve for net force first, so that is going to be 50 minus 15, and that gives me 35 newtons as my net force. And then we know with our FMA triangle, we have a force, we have a mass, we are looking for acceleration, so where we are going to divide, and that gives us 0.35 meters per second squared. Okay, so these are the most missed questions from yesterday. If you are needing to correct this assignment, or if you are needing to finish this assignment, you will have some time towards the end of class to do that. And hopefully this video will help you with those corrections or completing the assignment. Now we are going to complete a PTOM. So you are going to get a periodic table and you are going to complete a full PTOM for me. Once you are done, you are going to log into the code that is on the board and you are going to correct your PTOM. You will notice on the corrected PTOM that I have added Newton's laws of motion, and I have also added speed, velocity, and acceleration. So you want to make sure that you are adding those to your periodic table and you are studying that. When we take our unit test next week on Thursday, you will be responsible for a partial PTOM, and it will include all of that information for this unit, including the distance, speed, time triangle, the force, mass, acceleration triangle, balanced and unbalanced forces, Newton's laws, and then speed, velocity, and acceleration. So you'll want to make sure you add that to your paper and that you are studying that. Once you have completed your PTOM, you are going to move into the test review. You are going to work on this on paper first. Once you have completed the paper copy of it, then you will log into Schoology week 13 Thursday, and you will transfer your answers into Schoology. This is a graded assignment. Once you have entered it into Schoology, though, it is going to tell you which ones you've missed. It is also going to tell you the correct answers. I want you to mark the correct answers on your paper so that you can make a study guide, and you want to take the study guide home with you and you want to study it. Once you have completed today's assignment, you have several choices. If you did not finish yesterday's assignment, you can go into Schoology week 13 Wednesday and you can complete yesterday's assignment. If you have completed that, but you are missing the distance, speed, time practice or the motion graphs practice, you can log into Schoology and go into the missing assignments and corrections folder and you can complete that. If you're wanting to do corrections on either of those assignments, you're also free to do that as well. And then if you have done all of those assignments and you do not have any corrections that you need to make for me, you do not have any zeros for me, then you are in Boom Cards and you are studying for the rest of the class period. There should not be any talking, as everything that you are doing today is independent practice and you are getting ready for your unit test tomorrow. On Thursday next week. I will be back tomorrow, so if you have questions, go ahead and circle on your paper what you need help with and I'll be able to help you tomorrow.